Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you are getting your week off to a good start. So if you caught my video the other day talking about the whole Netflix Rebel Moon RPG situation, you might have heard me mention some Wonder Woman stuff that I wanted to cover on the channel as well. If you need to get caught up on that other topic with Rebel Moon, Netflix, the RPG, the role-playing game, you can head over to my channel and check that video out as well. But today I want to talk about something that came out about Wonder Woman 3 a few days ago. Well, what could have maybe been Wonder Woman 3. So we know that the new leadership at Warner Brothers Discovery, they pretty much got rid of the potential movie that Patty Jenkins wanted to make for a third Wonder Woman film with Gal Gadot. We've heard back and forth things about Gal Gadot potentially staying around to play Wonder Woman again in the new DCU. But I don't think we've really got any information that is really concrete about that yet. We've just kind of heard what she was told, and then, you know, the other side of that, that some people behind the scenes said that that's not actually what's going on. We don't really know 100% what's happening with that at this time. But a Twitter account called Can We Get Some Toast, it's kind of like a scooper account, claims to have some information about what could have potentially been part of the story, or maybe some details included in a Wonder Woman 3 movie. It says, Patty Jenkins' take for her canceled Wonder Woman 3 with Gal Gadot was set in the present day of the DCEU after Justice League and her cameo in The Flash. It would have featured other DC characters, one of them being Ben Affleck's Batman. So first detail we noticed there, set in the present day after Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it also says after her cameo in The Flash. So would have taken place after those things. Now, before we heard Patty Jenkins say, I think when she was talking, you know, kind of talking about Wonder Woman 84, I believe she was asked something along the lines of, do you know where her character would go in a third film? And she said definitely present day. It has to be present day. They kind of asked her which Justice League would be your canon, and she's like, oh, you know, I think, you know, we all of us other DC directors threw out the theatrical cut of Justice League as much as the fans did. So definitely she would have used Zack Snyder's Justice League as her reference for where Wonder Woman or Diana Prince would go, where she would be in her journey, in her character arc, whatever you want to call it, in a third solo movie. And that would be present day after the events of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it also mentions her cameo in The Flash. Now, we did see her briefly in The Flash, what came out in theaters. However, after The Flash came out, we found out that the original ending of the film included Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, along with Ben Affleck's Batman. And the second alternate ending would have been Wonder Woman, Batman, and Henry Cavill's Superman. But the one we got in theaters was a third version of the ending that they chose, with none of those characters included. So I wonder if this means her cameo in The Flash, just the fact that we saw her in the beginning of the movie, or would it have been, you know, that first original ending that was intended for the Flash movie. I guess either way, you know, it would have taken place after seeing her appear in that movie. And then the other detail we see included there is it would have included other DC characters, one of them being Ben Affleck's Batman. So that means potentially Ben Affleck's Batman and other characters from the, you know, universe as well. Now, I mean, first of all, present day would have been an absolute must. There's, like Patty Jenkins said, there's nowhere else you could go with her character besides present day. At the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, we see her, it looks, you know, she's holding Artemis's arrow that she used as a key to find the information, you know, the history about Darkseid coming to Earth and all of that stuff. That is supposed to lead her back to Themyscira and be her way of finding her way back to, you know, to Themyscira. And it seems to me like she'd be going back, especially since Steppenwolf kind of, you know, he went and like attacked them there. And so if it seemed to me at the end, you know, she's kind of mourning the loss of her Amazon's sisters. It seems like she would be going back to Themyscira, at least for some time, in a third movie. In my opinion, her second movie had no reason to even be set in the past. Her first movie, you expect it to be, it's an origin story. We see how she came to the world of man, all of that. That you expect to be a period piece. But the second movie, I feel like the only reason it was set in the 80s was because, or even, you know, in the past at all, is because the studio did not want any kind of ties or connection to things that had happened in the the movies already at that time. And if you said it in the past, it's kind of like fans can't question, well, what about this event? What about this time in the universe? What about when this happened? Whereas these characters, you can't question that because it was way back, decades before any of the other events in the DCEU had taken place. I feel like that was the only reason for that. Just completely unnecessary in my opinion. It didn't actually have anything that meaningful for her character in my opinion, besides little things like, okay, I was nice to see her with Steve Trevor again, I appreciated that, and seeing her learn how to fly and things of that nature. But you could have still showed some of those things in a present day movie, maybe in like flashbacks or something of that sort. The story didn't have anything to do with it being said in the past. It was just, I think that story could have taken place in any time. The story that they made for Wonder Woman 84. It could have taken place in present day, it could have taken place anytime. The only reason it's said in the past is because the studio didn't want any ties to the current universe. That's what I think. It shouldn't have taken until a third movie for her to be in present day, besides seeing her in BVS and Zack Snyder's Justice League, and then the cameos that we've seen her in, like Shazam 2 and The Flash. As far as seeing other characters in her movie, I believe that, that's very valid. I don't think that that's it's not far-fetched or anything. We don't know where this information is coming from as far as the direct source, but it does seem like it makes sense. I don't doubt that Patty Jenkins would want to incorporate those other characters into a present-day movie. Even in her first movie, in the present-day couple of scenes that are at the, just the small bit at the beginning and the end that Bruce sends her, the picture that she was looking for that Lex had, it definitely would make sense to me to have other characters in her movie. We don't know enough about the story to know how they would be involved or what, kind of role they would play. But of course, this far into what the universe would have been, it would make sense to see some other characters show up. And I know a lot of people kind of had the feeling, when we found out that they were canceling the third Wonder Woman movie, or they weren't going to move forward with it. I think a lot of people might have had the feeling like, okay, good, because I don't want Patty Jenkins to do another Wonder Woman film after what happened with Wonder Woman 84. I totally understand that. It was such a huge pivot from the first movie that it was kind of like, whoa. She had such a great first movie, and then the second one, it was like there were things to like about it and appreciate about it, but it was just in a whole different category from the first one. It didn't even really feel like a sequel to me. It felt very out of place. It felt random. It didn't feel like it fit into anything else in the DC, in the DCEU. So I definitely understand, why people would feel like they wouldn't want Patty Jenkins to make another Wonder Woman movie anyway. I do think that, a third, it probably wouldn't have been the same outcome, I don't think, as Wonder Woman 84. First of all, Geoff Johns had a way bigger influence on Wonder Woman 84 and was a lot more heavily involved in the story. I think that she was probably having a lot of battles with the studio, similar to what, Zack Snyder, David Ayer, these other directors in the DCEU had experienced at that time. I really don't feel like a third one would have had the same outcome. But I can see why people wouldn't want her to do another movie after that one. However, that doesn't mean that we wouldn't have wanted to see, I would like to see another movie for Wonder Woman. I love Gal Gadot in the role. I would have loved to see her in present day. Would have been nice to, hear more about what was planned for that movie and what else she had in mind. Maybe over time we'll find out a little bit more. For now, we just kind of have these little details here. But I would like to know more about what she had planned for that story. Just wanted to go ahead and share those details that have been, kind of a topic of discussion lately. So thank you guys for watching. Share your thoughts below. Check out the channel for anything you might have missed recently. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on all of these hot topics. And we will see you guys next time.